Hey guys, Wolvie here with a special presentation for the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia for the 27th of February 2020. This is going to be a spoiler video for Global, more specifically the 8080 era, which is coming to JP in the near future. So there will be a couple of things in the description below. Before I go any further, first and foremost, I'll have the handle to the DFFOO JP Twitter handle because we'll be going into that for a portion of this video in the description alongside Stingren's video with the March 2020 reports. As that particular video, he does explain things like that's easy for people to understand. He is perhaps my main go-to when it comes to DFFOO content. And that's odd considering I am a global-only player. I do my own research whenever I'm able to come up with my own conclusion on whoever shows up for the game. So, when it comes down to the 8080 era, I'm going to go into the Crystal Strength aspect so that way us global players can have some type of expectation. So, with the Crystal Strength, there is going to be a Tier 6 Crystal. And that which is right now, and which is at the moment on Global, the empty slot. So that's going to get filled in time for Global. If I were to guess the estimated time of arrival of the 8080 era to Global, I'm going to say that it's going to be very close to the 3rd Global anniversary. But that's my guess. Therefore, my opinion. But I do want to point out a couple of things here with the trends I've noticed for the Awakening eras so far on Global, as it could continue like this once it comes to the 8080 era. Now, with the 6060 Awakening era, some characters who got their 6060 Awakening early, some of them actually got their 7070 Awakening late. And with the first wave of the 8080 Awakenings that's coming to JP in the matter of days, it could be the same thing for Global. Now, I'm going to give a highlight on one particular character because this character is gaining her 8080 Awakening first. This kind of goes into a bizarre trend I've been noticing on Global, meaning that she got her 6060 Awakening early, but her 7070 Awakening came late. So I'm going to pause the video, and once I come back, it will be that character who is among the very first. I am back, and like I said, this character is going to be one of the very first to get their 8080 Awakening. It is none other than Clear Lightning Farron herself. The thing is, on JP, she is not only getting her 8080 Awakening, she is also going to be getting a 3rd costume. It is the Equilibrium outfit from Lightning Returns. There is another name for it, but it's hard for me to pronounce it at the moment. And if I were to try, I'd probably give myself a major anxiety attack. And that's not worth it for this video. So, it is the Equilibrium outfit from Lightning Returns as the 3rd costume. She's the weapon she has in her hand with the Equilibrium costume. It is Crimson Blitz. The question is, though, is it Crimson Blitz at the beginning of Lightning Returns or Ultimate Weapon, which is the upgraded Crimson Blitz at the end of Lightning Returns? So I will take another pause for this video. We're going to jump straight into the DFFOO JP Twitter account so we can look at the photo right there. So I will be back. I am back. Like I said, this is the Equilibrium costume from Lightning Returns. And that is in her hand, Crimson Blitz. The million-dollar question is, for some of us who have played Lightning Returns, or if you watch enough footage of Lightning Returns, and I am of the latter, because varying life choices. So, is this going to be Crimson Blitz before the final day from Lightning Returns, or or during the final days. So that's going to be up to individual interpretation there. So I'm going to get out of this. We're going to go into this real quick, and we're going to go into the information on the 8080 Awakenings, more specifically the actual footage. So I'm going to do hopefully a final quick pause, and that way we can look at the information together. I am back. Like I said, before we get into the actual footage from the DFFOO JP account, I've been trying to record a good video for this for quite a bit today. I'm trying to downplay a possible anxiety attack. So hopefully I get through this, being a little more sound and health-wise. Like I said, I would say, like I said, I've had some health problems. Like this morning waking up, and I had some stuff going on at work that had me staying there kind of late, so we're just going to go through this a little bit together. And I'm going to turn down the volume so that way you guys get to hear me talk more so than the video volume. So now you notice half of the 8080 Awakenings, which is once we get out of this, we see one half of it being Lightning, Raijin, and Edge. Raijin from Final Fantasy VIII, Edge from Raijin from Final Fantasy VIII, Edge from Final Fantasy IV, and again Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII. And she is going to be getting her Burst and LD weapon with her 8080 Awakening. And this is one of the other individuals right here. Is Penelo. You notice we're gonna do explanation of what looks to be a new ability of sorts. So it's kind of hard to explain it, but one of the icons you'll see at the bottom of the screen is the letter C. That's pretty much an assist of sorts, meaning you swap out somebody for one turn, that sort of thing. And like I said, once we get into this, we're going to do another look through at this, so I'm not going to be talking for a while. Now that's that. We're going to, like I said, we're going to go through this one more time, because what you kind of notice here is something that's a new ability of sorts, known as the Crystal Strength level 75. Basically, what it is like it's like a bit of like a tag team sort of thing, meaning that you pair somebody with somebody else, and I do some type of move, I guess. So we're going to do another look at this. So this is our Raijin. He is going to be having Zack do his thing. And what Zack's going to be doing here in this case is skill 1, Chain Slash, meaning that the Raijin is going to be targeted instead. And you notice again he's going to counter with something that limits the brain damage. Now Lightning's going to be getting Penelo in there really quickly. I believe this is going to be Region Waltz. So it's going to be one of the skills, and then they're going to be doing something else. That's Lightning's additional ability. Now, we're probably going to be looking at this one more time, because I noticed a comment that mentions that Zack's getting his LD. I'm not so sure if that's going to be the case as of yet, but it remains to be seen, and I'll be happy if it is the case. Now, we're gonna do... Okay, so looks like somebody's summoning Raijin. Now, some cases is... Okay. Okay, so... I'm not so sure if he is getting his LD. I'm not gonna be surprised either way. But somebody mentioned that Zach's getting his LD. That does not look to be the case in this video. I do want to point out, though, that with this Awakening badge for 8080, like I said, Lightning is not only getting her LD, but she's also getting her burst because she is a protagonist from the main series. So, for those mentioning people like Yuna or Sarah, they're going to have to do a major overhaul with Sarah's moveset so that Ultimate Arrow could be her burst weapon, as opposed to Ultimate Arrow being her EX ability, and something similar for Yuna. So, with that part out of the way, I'm going to be going back into the main game, so I will be back. Now we're back here in the main game. Now, what do I think about the whole Crystal Strength level 75, the 8080 Awakening? So, their new skill, it's too soon for me to really make a comment on it, because although you're doing a temporary swap for like a single turn, it could be something that could be that's much needed in the game to create a different strategy of sorts. Now, the whole thing with the trend of the early sort of thing with some characters, I won't be surprised if that continues to be the case for the 8080 Awakenings. Now, with Lightning being the next one getting her burst and LD, I am beyond psyched. Love it, love it, love it. And then they've also mentioned that with the global first character that's recently released, aka Aranea, she is going to be getting an 8080 Awakening when she debuts in JP later on this year, probably with her LD weapon as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I won't be surprised if Aranea comes back to global. It's just her the rerun of the event. I won't be surprised because you never know if global starts to really follow JP to the letter or not, you know. But I am beyond psyched to see Lightning is the next getting her burst weapon on JP alongside her LD. I think this is going to be coming to global close to the 3rd anniversary, as the 2nd anniversary is about to wrap up. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, with the first batch of 8080 Awakenings on JP, it's going to be Lightning, Penelo, Zack, Vincent, Raijin, and Edge. Now, with Penelo and Edge, they were kind of late getting their 7070 Awakenings on JP, which both are getting their 7070 Awakenings in March for global during Ultimate Pandemonium. And this little switch around, I'm liking that JP is mixing it up a little bit. And by that, when it came to the 6060 and 7070 Awakening waves, we all pretty much remembered it's one character per crystal color. Now, for the first batch of 8080 Awakenings, you already have 2 who are yellow, meaning Raijin and Lightning. Both of them were late with their 7070 Awakenings. 2 that is of the color white, meaning Vincent and Penelo. You have 1 blue with Edge and 1 black with Zack. Now they're doing, I think it's more random, and that I like. But with their new ability at Crystal Strength level 75, it's too soon for me to make an opinion on it because, granted, it's just one use, but you never know with the other characters coming along and with their awakenings, all that good stuff. Now with Beatrix, the whole thing there, this is a bit of a side note. I do think once Beatrix's Lost Chapter comes to JP, JP will probably be seeing that Lufenium difficulty, meaning that once Beatrix comes back to Global, I think we're going to be seeing a rerun of her event with where her 70/70 Awakening is, and a bit of a redo of her moveset to reflect JP, meaning that once Global gets her Last Chapter, it's probably going to be the end of the year. Now, my final thoughts on all of this. I mean, this is going to be nuts. And nuts in a good way. Meaning that the whole thing with Beatrix, once comes her Lost Chapter, she's probably going to get her 80/80 Awakening then. And to be honest with everybody, I'm like, this is a little change up, with how Awakenings were in the past as opposed to now. I think Global's going to be in for a surprise. Some may be whining and leaving because the whole thing with Crystal Strength level 75, but it may give people who are on the fence more reason to stay. And I want to give a big kudos to the JP developers because, I mean, honestly, like I said, it's too soon for me to give an opinion on the Crystal Strength level 75 stuff, which is that one-turn swap. However, I mean, I kind of like it because it's like, you may be doing something that could save the team. Who knows? But only time will tell. But I want to finish this off with a bit, and I wouldn't necessarily say this is a rant, and this is going to go off tangent, but it's necessary. Some people were mentioning about this whole thing with Dissidia NT, no more updates, and no more sequels for Dissidia. Now, some people are mentioning, Dissidia is going to be around for years to come. That the worst thing to assume is things like that. Because if you remember Final Fantasy 15, there are very games there where the in-progress of those were depending on the sales for Final Fantasy 15. Now, Final Fantasy 15 did good in sales. It actually outsold 13, but only by 400,000 copies. Even with that, yeah, 75% of the DLC for Final Fantasy 15, the Season 2 content went going from the game into a novella, alongside the termination of PC support for Final Fantasy 15. With all that gone, or revamped into a novella, you can't really rely on certain things sticking around when you know the history of certain companies. So, and the reason why I say that is that later on this year, Mobius Final Fantasy is no longer going to be available. And some people probably don't know why. I can give my guess on the reason, and that is loss of revenue. So you really can't rely on certain things sticking around, knowing certain other things. But you know what? And this is, anything is possible. It could stick around, but we don't know the global revenue. We don't even know JP revenue. And and the thing is, it's like, unless we know certain numbers, you really cannot go out and say, I think this is going to be around for years to come, when you don't know the next month. So, I'm going to end it on this note. With the 80/80 era and what's to come, this could be a real determining factor for the future of both versions of the game. And now keep in mind, there is going to be nothing more from NT that's going to be in default. However, and again, anything is possible. And that's where I'm going to end this video. With Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.